Coming up, my top 3 from this video. Let's see where I rank them. Welcome to KDX Bricks Analytics, where I watch all the Lego investing and reselling videos so that you don't have to. So let's jump right into it. Now for the second half of the data set for August 16th to 31st. And this covers 21 videos, 8 channels, and 114 Lego set mentions. The previous video talked about the top half of both of the tables that we look at, and this video will talk about the bottom half. And as a reminder, those are the 21 videos that I found on YouTube about Lego investing and reselling that I watched and I collected data on to include the number of times each set gets mentioned, and then I assigned an enthusiasm score 1 through 3 based on how excited the presenter was about the particular Lego set when it comes to investing and reselling opportunities. So we're looking at the top half of the table that we talked about last time, so we're going to scroll right down here and start with the Buzz Lightyear set, which is 40552. Have it pictured here. Love this set, but it's so small that you have to sell a lot of units to make it worth it, but it will do well in retirement. Next up is 75296, the Darth Vader meditation chamber. It also got 3 mentions with an enthusiasm score of 2 during this August 16th to 31st time period. Both minifigures are good and the concept is great, but it's just a little disjointed and awkward to look at. Disney's Castle 71040. I think everybody thinks this set will do very well in retirement, but it's just so big, so you got to factor in storage and shipping. But 2 mentions with an enthusiasm score of 2. Armored Assault Tank with Ahsoka Tano and the Phase 2 Clone Trooper. A lot of people think this set's going to do really well. I think the vehicle itself is ugly. The minifigures are great. If it does well, the minifigures will need to carry this one in retirement. 2 mentions with an E score of 2. Carnage, we've looked at a few times. 2 mentions with an E score of 2. Target exclusive. 76906, one of my favorite 8 stud wide Speed Champions cars. This thing just looks awesome, and I like so much how it's a different canopy than the new standard, most typical 8 stud wide Speed Champions vehicle and car canopy. To me, when they use the same canopy over and over and over, it makes them all look pretty darn similar. Even though the actual body designs are different, it just makes them all kind of run looking together. I really like this one, of course, the bright red, it being Ferrari. I'm very excited about this one in retirement. 2 mentions with an E score of 2. Police Station got 1 mention with an E score of 2. It's the modular. They are expected to do well, but at some point we'll see if we come across one that doesn't do too well in retirement. But 10278. Now on to 40420. 1 mention with an enthusiasm score of 2. This one right here, 40426, the Christmas Wreath 2-in-1. It's Christmas, so it can do well, but honestly, I think this is ugly. And I think it's ugly just because it's so thin in the foliage. It just needs to be thicker, like a real wreath. Got 1 mention, but not my favorite. 40547, Obi-Wan Kenobi and Darth Vader. Darth Vader looks awesome. This set could do very well, but of course, if it stays on the shelves as long as Mandalorian and the Child Brickhead set and it's discounted as often, then you're gonna have to hold on to it for a very long time. So I'm sure this one is being over-hoarded from the beginning, but it has potential. We'll just have to see how it goes in terms of shelf life. My videos are for entertainment purposes. I do not provide financial advice. You got to get that from somebody else. 40557, great set with minifigures and all of the blasters that are used for the tripod stands that are included. 42083, Bugatti Chiron. 1 mention, E score of 2. This one's kind of guesswork because this is the first in this current super large size Technic vehicles. Who knows? I don't have one yet, and I certainly would like to get one, and I feel like I'm going to have to pay a premium in the secondary market to get it. I think it has potential. 43195, Belle and Rapunzel's Royal Stables. Interesting pick. Got an enthusiasm score of 2. It's Belle and Rapunzel, Disney, so it has a chance. 60329, School Day. It's a city set, so it probably won't do well in retirement. They typically won't. However, this is the first school in a very long time, and it was only on the shelves for a year and a half. It's part of the second wave of city sets with the new road plates, so there's a chance, but I bet the whole time is very, very long. 75252, Imperial Star Destroyer. It got 1 more mention with an enthusiasm score of 2. Same thing with 75302, Imperial Shuttle. Not my favorite Imperial Shuttle. 75306, Imperial Probe Droid. Also 1 mention with an enthusiasm score of 2. This one has potential because it's so recognizable, and it's one of these sculpture sets that goes along with the superhero hands and the Star Wars helmets. It's a mystery to me on this one. I think it will do well though. 75311, I think this one's a little bit of a sleeper. The Artillery Stormtrooper and Grief Karga are awesome, and although the vehicle is not the most most appealing looking vehicle. It's very recognizable from Mandalorian. I don't think there was a lot of buzz around this one, and so I think that it could do pretty well. Scrolling down on the table here just so we can get caught up, this one also had one mention with an enthusiasm score of 2. 76200 Brothor's New Asgard. This one I'm very, very excited about. One mention, score of 2. The 2.5 minifigures are great and exclusive, and the set there in the room with all the detail is really good. I'm sure it's fun to build. 76217 I Am Groot. This set should do very well in retirement. This set looks amazing, and of course the little cassette tape is a great add-on, or a great touch. 76238 Classic TV Series Batman Cowl. One mention with an E score of 2. It's an okay set. 76905 the Ford Speed Champions 2-pack. I love this set, an absolute winner, and it got another mention during this time period. Again, follow along on the table while we're talking. I'm not going to point out every single score that every set got. 76912 Dom's Charger with the Dom minifigure. It's still at the $20 8-stud wide Speed Champions price point, so this one will do very well in retirement. 75305 I think a little bit of a sleeper for the Star Wars helmets. It's a cheaper price point, and it's very, very recognizable as to what it is, and it hasn't been that popular, but completionists will absolutely want it, so I think this one will do well in retirement. 40559 these characters are just perfect for brickheads. 75315 the Imperial Light Cruiser got 2 more mentions with an enthusiasm score of 1.5. Minifigures are fantastic. It is way overpriced and not the best looking ship. Even though it looks exactly like the source material, there's a lot of gaps and shape transitions that aren't my favorite. 76182 Batman Cowl. I've never seen Batman screams like this before. I'm kidding. It's just that you can't not see a wide open mouth screaming, even though it's just a cowl. This one's weird for me. I'm sure it'll do fine, but not my favorite. 10275 Elf Clubhouse. It's Christmas, so it will do well in retirement. Probably not as well as most that are in this line. 10297 the T2 camper van got one mention with an E score of 1. Same thing with 42110 Land Rover Defender. I really like this one, so I think this one can do decent in retirement. Same thing with 43179 Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse. This set is awful other than the camera, which is amazing. Camera and tripod. 60328 this one was only on the shelves for 1 year, and yeah, it's very cheap price point. And although the price point of $40 is kind of expensive, it's been heavily discounted, and there's a lot of charm to this set. It's city. It probably won't do that well, but kind of a fun set, so maybe a slight opportunity there. 75280 501st Legion Clone Troopers Battle Pack. This set will do well in retirement, but it's just hoarded, so you'll have to hold on to it for a long time. 75304 the Darth Vader helmet. This one also will do well in retirement, but how long you have to hold it for and how much it's hoarded is dependent upon how long it's going to be sitting on the shelves. And then lastly, from this table, 75310 Duel on Mandalore. I love this set. It's great $20 price point for what you're getting. Obviously, you got to sell a bunch of units to make it worth your time, but both the minifigures are outstanding. And now to the cumulative table, which covers July 1st to August 31st, 2022. And we're already up to 72 videos watched over 9 channels with 336 unique Lego set mentions. A number of sets are starting to get multiple mentions up into the 7, 8, 9 mentions. The database is certainly growing. Last video, we talked about the upper half of both of these tables. As I scroll down, you can refresh yourself on what we've already talked about on the cumulative table. Now we're talking about the second half, which starts with Buzz Lightyear. Since our last 2-week period, this set has received 3 more mentions and has an enthusiasm score of 2.4. 76395 Hogwarts First Flying Lesson. 1 more mention with a score of 2.4. 75314 the Bad Batch Attack Shuttle, one of my favorites. 3 more mentions, jumped up in enthusiasm score to 2.3. 75319 2 more mentions for a total of 3, up to 2.3 on the score. Boba Fett helmet, a total of 5 mentions now with a 2.2 E score. 75305 Scout Trooper helmet, 3 more mentions up to 6. So yeah, I was saying earlier this one might be a little bit of a sleeper for me, and I do like this set a lot. Up to 6 mention was pretty good, but it did drop down to an enthusiasm score of 2. And I've said this in my other videos, but remember, pretty much anything that's on these lists that we're looking at are probably going to be okay from a Lego investing and reselling perspective. Obviously, we're trying to look for the best winners, but all of these will probably be winners in some form or another. You just might have to keep them in storage and hold on to them a little longer. When I talk about a score going up and down, don't sweat it too much. Unless the enthusiasm score is below 1, I would think that it's still pretty strong. But again, we want to see what the comparison is so we can target the best sets for Lego investing and reselling. 76199 Carnage, 2 more mentions up to 3. 31109 the Pirate Ship got 1 more mention, but it did jump from an enthusiasm score of 1 to an E score of 2. The Imperial Probe Droid got its 2nd mention. And now I'll scroll through the rest of the table slowly so you can just take a look. Feel free to pause the video at any time. Now down to 40559 Roadrunner and Wile E. Coyote. 2 more mentions up to 5, but only an E score of 1.8, and I think that's low. low. I think it should be higher. 2 more mentions for this set, the Imperial Light Cruiser up to 4. 1 mention for the Elf Clubhouse, but an E-score down to 1.7. 1 more mention for Darth Vader, and same thing, an E-score down to 1.7. Up to the second mention for this Fast and Furious Speed Champions vehicle, and the E-score jumped to 1.5. And then Duel on Mandalore has a total of 3 mentions with an E-score of 1. T2 Camper Van has got its second mention with an E-score of 1. And now for my top 3 sets from this video, i.e. my ones to watch. So first one, 76906, 1970 Ferrari 512M. And the only reason it's in third place is because it's at the $20 price point. So you have to sell a high number of units in order to make it worth your time. I haven't built it yet. I do own it. I've heard that it's a very fun build, unique compared to a lot of the other Speed Champions set. Now in second place is 75311 Imperial Armored Marauder with the 4 minifigures, 2 of which are exclusive to this set, the Artillery Stormtrooper and Grief Karga. I think this set will do very well. At the $40 price point, it probably feels like a little too much, so I would work hard to get it on sale, but I think there's a lot more than meets the eye in the picture here. It was only on the shelves for a year and a half, and so this is my second choice. And then my number 1 pick is 76199 Carnage. The helmets continue to do very well. This one was a Target exclusive, and with the red head, the stickers with the black streaks on them, and the white eyes and the black teeth and the pink mouth area, all the different colors really stand out compared to the other helmets. And so this one will do very well in retirement. So that's a wrap on this video. I will see you in the next one.